Hey, Nate here, Hill and Ponton's video guy. In this video, we're going to talk through the best way for you to appeal your denied claim. Now, before I jump into this video, remember we have a newsletter that has information going out every week, as well as your ability to search through them all on our website at veterans.hillandponton.com. The link is in the description below. Click that and join a community of people learning how to do everything they need to do VA disability benefits without ever coming through us. But when it comes to VA appeals, we know better than anyone else because our firm deals exclusively in VA disability appeals. That's kind of everything that we do. You have three different options when it comes to appealing your claim: supplemental review, higher level review, or BVA, Board of Veterans Appeals. Each of those are different ways of you getting your claim that has been denied through to a possible approval. Now, when it comes to these three things, there are unique ins and outs that I could go over, but instead of me being the one to explain it, how about we have attorneys Shelly and Melanie talk through exactly what you need to know about getting your denied claim approved through the appeals process.
What are the different appeal options when a veteran gets a decision that they're not happy with? What can they do?
There's several different things that veterans can do when they receive a denial. We first need to know where the denial came from. Did the denial come from the regional office, or is it a denial from the board? So probably be more simple to start at, say, after an initial claim at the regional office. And now the veteran needs to file a specific type of form depending on the type of appeal they're going to file. So there is an appeal referred to as a higher level review. That is an appeal where the veteran's asking the VA to take a look at all of the evidence again and make a new decision. You are not allowed to add any new evidence. However, you are allowed to have a conference. So the veteran or the veteran's representative can talk to them and say, hey, here are the facts that are already in the file, and here is the way we feel that these are legal errors that were made, and ask for another decision on that. We've had good success with higher level reviews at the regional office. I guess the downside there is that you can't submit new evidence. And so the flip side of that would be if you do have this new report from your doctor or some new evidence that you really want to get in, then you're going to file a supplemental appeal, and that's going to allow you to submit the additional evidence, and you're asking the VA to review that and then make a new decision on the claim.
In order to file a supplemental appeal, you have to file the VA Form 0995. And keep in mind that that form is the same form that's used when you want to reopen a claim that had been previously denied. And so you'll still need new and relevant evidence in order to file that.
And that can be confusing for veterans. Am I reopening? Am I filing an appeal? Because with any of these appeals, they have 1 year from the date of the rating decision to file the appeal with the regional office. And so you want to be very specific that you are filing an appeal to whatever the decision is, and that you are not reopening or initiating some other type of claim that would have a different effective date than what they originally filed.
And so the other option that you have to appeal your claim is to appeal it up to the Board of Veterans Appeals, like you mentioned. And then there you have three different options. And I know that that can get confusing for veterans as well. But the first option is direct review, where similar to higher level review, you can't submit any new evidence. But the advantage there is it's supposed to be the shortest time frame, the shortest wait time to get a decision from the BVA, although right now we're seeing wait times of well over a year, even though they say it's supposed to take a year. I believe we recently heard that the wait time was around 460 days. And so you still need to have patience through the process.
Right. It's not a quick process, that's for sure. The other type of appeal, as Melanie mentioned, is a BVA evidence appeal, and that's very much like the supplemental appeal at the regional office in that you're submitting some new evidence. You're asking them to make a decision based on the file and this new evidence that's being submitted. That is something that we are trying to avoid because the wait time for the BVA evidence appeals is even much longer than the BVA direct. We're really not sure how long it's going to take, for us to get decisions on those types of appeals.
And the longest wait time is for the hearing lane. So if you want a hearing with a veterans law judge, you would file into the hearing lane where you would get assigned a hearing with a judge. But keep in mind that the hearing that you have with the judge, that's not necessarily the same judge that's going to make the decision. So that's a lot of times veterans want their day in court, they want to be able to talk to the judge, but then that judge is not the same one that's going to be ultimately deciding the case. So that's something to consider. Whatever it is that you would want to say in a hearing, you can submit that through a statement if you do file into the evidence lane. And so because it's such a long wait time, it may not be worth the wait if you can get your evidence in through submitting it instead of at a hearing.
And we really aren't sure of the wait time for a hearing appeal right now, but I know it's years. So that's definitely something to consider. And Melanie, we've worked where we're trying to use the supplemental appeal lane at the regional office to make sure we develop the claim all the way up and submit any of our evidence at that point so that we can tell our clients when we file the BVA direct, or I'm sorry, that we're able to file the BVA direct because all the evidence is in the file. So just something to keep in mind.
And I will also say a lot of times the VA will post average wait times on their website, and veterans will come to us asking, why haven't we seen a decision yet? But honestly, most of my cases have been waiting well over 2 years at the board. And again, there's nothing that we can do as attorneys. The only way that you can get it moving faster is if you request a motion to advance on the docket, which is like an expedite request. And in that case, they would only grant an expedite under 3 circumstances. So if you were over the age of 75, if you were terminal, so if you have a condition, a terminal disease, or if you were in extreme financial distress, like if you were going to be evicted or facing foreclosure, bankruptcy, homeless, things like that. Otherwise, if you don't fit into those categories, you're going to be waiting like everybody else.
Thank you, Attorney Shelly and Melanie. That whole video explains the entire VA appeals process, kind of the nuts and bolts and what you can expect moving forward. Now, if you don't want to fight this alone, you can enlist the help of Hill and Ponton to fight on your side for you. All you have to do is call this number right here. You call this, you get a free consultation, and we talk you through the steps that you will need to take next for us to be able to represent you, or if we can't, pass you off to someone who is able to. Remember, we are a small firm, so we can't take every case that comes across our way, which is why we make these videos, to educate you on everything you need to know. Because as Matthew Hill always says, knowledge is power. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe to this video, you can watch another one, or you can have a wonderful day. And as always, thank you for your service.